Hi everyone, today I'm going to give you the review of my 2013 Nissan Leaf.
The model that I have is the SV model, and it has a base price of $31,820. It has a couple options. First one is the LED quick charge package for $1630, LED headlights, quick charge port, auto on-off headlights, and fog lights. It also comes with floor mats and cargo area mat. With destination charge, it brings a total to $34,470.
I really like the way that Nissan has designed the instrument panel cluster, the upper and lower cluster. The lower cluster has a center screen that you can toggle through and have some different information pop up. Right now is on battery percentage. You also have average speed, which I don't know why you'd ever look at that. I don't. Driving distance, and then elapsed time. Settings, you can go through and change sounds and tones and set up maintenance reminders. Your percentage until charged, if you're on 240 volt or 120 volt, and it gives you the time until you'd be fully charged. Your energy economy, 4.8. I don't know, is that good? I don't know. I guess it is. And then I normally just leave it on what my actual percentage of battery is, just so I have a good idea. And then I like to compare that to the scale on the right, which is the miles left until you're discharged. I always look at the number. I never pay any attention to the actual scale itself. On the left side is a battery temperature scale. There again, I rarely pay any attention to that. As you can see, I have 2,909 miles, so just under 3,000 miles in about 2.5 months. At the very top is a scale, the circles that move to the right. They're white dots that fill up to show you your immediate power, basically how much you're pushing down on the gas pedal, how much power it's sending to the motor. And then as it moves to the left side of that white dot, that's regenerative braking, and it shows you how much regen's happening. The faster you are, if you let off, it'll fill that up completely as far as your regen, and it also depends on what mode you're in. This is the upper panel. It's right by the windshield. This is what you would look at just as you're driving. It's really easy to look at and glance at and keep your eyes on the road. The information displayed here on the far left is it's a warning triangle because I don't have my seatbelt on while I'm doing this. Next to that is a little arc with the base of a tree, and that tree builds up as you drive. It shows how good or bad that your economy is doing, and as you drive it builds a tree just to show what a good job you're doing. I find it to be rather useless. I don't see any point in it. Obviously the miles per hour is displayed there, which is really nice. I like the clock there and the outside temperature. And then you also have turn signals are up here, which is nice. And just good information that you can just glance at and without really taking your eyes off the road. I think they did a great job with that. Steering wheel controls. On the left side you have this very top button, which is a blue button with an arrow. If you push that, it'll bring up all the charging stations on the map and give you distance to them and how close you are, which is the closest one, that type of thing. Source button is audio controls. You can push it in, which is nice, and it'll actually cycle through XM radio, AM, FM, CD, that type of stuff. Phone button, I don't think I've ever used. You can sync your phone to it. It works rather well. The sound is clear. People can hear you well. So the overall call quality is great, but I just rarely use it. Volume buttons for the radio, I use that quite a bit. Talk button where you can use that for navigation or making phone calls. I think I've only used it once or twice. That's a back button. On the other side is cruise control. That's a cancel button. You probably can't read it. Set button, Excel, coast, that type of thing, on, off. And if you turn that on, your mileage drops once it's actually engaged. Just turning on, I guess, won't actually cause it to drop, but you can see the display shows that it's on. As soon as it's set, then your overall estimated mileage drops immediately. Car does not like cruise control. And depending on the driving conditions, I can see why, because it's going to try to maintain that speed versus if you're doing it yourself. You can slow down going up a hill, that type of thing. And then the economy button, that will change the miles immediately. Drops at 2 miles, not bad. But with that off, you can get 100% power immediately, which is really fun to drive. I typically drive with it on, and it does a gradual increase in power as you accelerate. So that's something that you definitely need to be aware of as you're pulling out into traffic. You will not have that power immediately. I do find that I push the fuel pedal or gas pedal down quite a bit more with that on, but it does a real gradual increase of power, so you're not doing a jackrabbit start type thing. And overall, I think it does help, and I usually keep that on while I'm driving. On the left side of the steering wheel, you have this button toggles through the different functions on your IP there. Just takes you through the different ones. We've already went through that. This one is like a select button. It's just a little dot. You've got a trip meter, and then you've also got your instrument panel brightness, so you can change the brightness of that if it's too bright, since it's all digital. You can turn off timer if you have it set. It's just a button you push. If you're using a public charging station, you can actually now lock the charger mount in place with that, which is nice. So that way someone can't walk up and pull it out and plug their car in. This opens the charging port in front. Heated steering wheel, traction control off, 2 buttons that are blank, which I'm not sure what they are. Obviously, that's a model that I don't have. Window controls. You can lock out the windows, lock button. It'd be nice if that was lit up at night, which it's not. And then mirror controls. A lot of people, whenever they get in, are kind of taken back by the whole shifter. I really like it. It's nice. You just push it down in the middle to put it in park. I've also learned that if you just shut the car off, it automatically puts it in park, because I've done that a few times. And then it's pretty straightforward. If you move it to the forward position, you actually go in reverse. Move it back, and then that actually puts it in drive. You move it back again, and it puts it into this braking mode, which is a more aggressive regen braking on it. But I do like the finish that they have on there. It shows fingerprints a lot, but the overall look of it I like. The lower part, you have heated seats, front and rear. You also have a rear heated seat. This little deal is a USB plug-in, so you can charge your phone. You can also play music through that. And then this little deal over here is just a stereo or audio jack input, I guess is the best way to say that. Then moving up from there, this one actually has the navigation system in it, which is nice. It's got a full screen map, which I don't know if you can see that or not. Overall menu, you can set destination, route, information, which is all maintenance, where am I, traffic information, GPS information. I never use that. Settings for phone and display. Usually, you set that up whenever you first get it, and then I haven't been back into it since. You've got phone control, and you've got car wings. Next button down, status, which just shows the overall status of what's going on. Right now I've got climate control on. It's automatic climate control, which is nice. Tune and seek channel up and down, and then you've got the zero emissions button is what it says, but it's for basically the car information, driving range, nearby stations, station update stations, energy info, which shows you how many miles you have, how much energy you're using immediately, that type of thing. Rarely do I look at that. You can set up your charging timer, climate control timer. That's nice. You can also do that through an iPhone or Android phone with an app, and then you can also do it online. So you can turn on your climate control prior to leaving, which will be nice during the winter. Car wings, and then your overall settings. This side, AM, FM, XM radio, CD and auxiliary, which would be the lower items that I just showed you down there. Volume controls, power button. The only thing that I really wish they would have done instead of an up and down volume control would be have a knob. That would have been nice. Your HVAC controls are pretty straightforward. You've got temperature up and down. You just hit auto. You can do that. It's nice if you hit the fan. If you don't want the air on and you just want to use the blower motor, that's really straightforward. But I've pretty much either just had the fan on or it on automatic, and the system works great. I notice that I do run the temperature, it seems like, a little higher than our other car that has an automatic climate control, but you know, what does the temperature matter as long as you're comfortable? The glove box is not huge. It doesn't hardly hold that much. I don't really have that much to put in there, but I do notice that it's small. I've got the owner's manual in there, keep the insurance card and that type of stuff. But the glove box is it's very small. The overhead console has, I'm assuming those are microphone holes, is what I'm guessing. LED lights, which are very, very nice. I like those a lot. You can turn all the dome light on and the front lights. That little slot there is actually a small LED light that shines down on the lower console area, which is nice. That's on and off for if you want the lights to come on when the doors open, and then the other LED light. The overhead dome light is just a regular incandescent bulb. You would have thought that they would have did an LED light. It's not really that big of a deal, but I do notice that since the car is so quiet that whenever you close the doors and the lights fade, it actually makes a noise that you can audibly hear. It's minor, but it's just, you know, one of those little things. I believe that it's new for 2013 is the remote now has a release button for the front charging port. Push and hold and it pops open. Open that up and it's pretty straightforward. There is a quick charging port which is on the left. It's a big sucker. And you know what? I've never used it. There's no place where I live at, which is the St. Louis area, that offers a quick charging port where you can charge up to 80% of battery in like 30 minutes. Also new, from what I understand, is LED lights that they've put in here, which is nice when it's dark. The normal charging port for either the 120 or 240 is on the right side, and it's just a standardized plug. I use the trickle charger which came with the car. If you look in the owner's manual, it's actually recommended not to use the trickle charger all the time. That's what I use. It's a lease car. I was going to install the updated 240 volt charger. I say updated, just a upgrade 240 volt charger in my house. I was going to do all that. The trickle charger works fine. Everyone I talked to at the Nissan dealership where I got it at, that's what they use and recommended that I just stick with that. They didn't see any problem with it. Whenever you plug it in, you get an audible tone, and then you also get the information on the dashboard, the 3 LED lights that show you how much charge is needed. It's kind of hard to see with the reflection, but that's on the dash. Those are LED lights, just give you an indication on the charging state to show you it's still charging. There's a total of 3, and as it charges, all 3 will light up. But that'll just give you a quick indication on the amount of charge and the state of it. And then when you're done charging, you just push the button down and pull it out. You're set. Close the door, and then the lid just comes down and clicks closed. The other nice thing about the car, the charging port, is whenever you first get the car and you're setting everything up, setting your phone up, you can leave it plugged in and run all the power for HVAC, and then for the audio system, we'll just run off that plug. This car is equipped with the LED headlights. I really like them. They're really bright. They shine out very well. The color is great. The overall design of the headlight is a little unusual because it sticks up so far from the car. I don't know if you can see that well in the video, but they definitely protrude outward. And that's actually to kick air up over the mirror for wind noise. At the back of the car, You've got a rubberized push button release for the hatch, and then also underneath that, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little rubber knob there, and if you push that, once this is open, you can actually lock and unlock the doors from there, which is really, really nice. That's a great idea that they thought of. The rear hatch area, there's a lot of room. Just for day-to-day use, I don't know what you would need any more room than this for. The seats are 60-40 split. They fold down. I've not had them down yet. I've got a little bit of dirt back here from carrying stuff. This is a case for the charger, which I just keep back here, but I keep the charger actually just plugged in at home. And that way, whenever I pull in at night or whenever I want to charge, I can just plug it in and it's all ready to go. Not everybody likes the overall look of the Leaf. Personally, I do. It's small. We easily fit our family in there of 2 children and 2 adults. It carries us all well and does the job for 95% of the running that we do. Things that really affect the overall mileage on the car is going to be if you have your HVAC on. Doesn't like heating or air conditioning. So that really takes away from it. It really loves driving right around town, stop and go traffic, 40 miles or 45 miles per hour or less. Anything above 45 miles an hour, especially highway speeds, boy, the range really drops. The faster you go, the more wind you're pushing through, so of course the car's going to be less efficient. And now for the bad and the good. And there again, these are my opinions, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that disagree or have another opinion on it, which is fine. But in my opinion, the bad spots are going to be the audio system, the sound quality is poor, the integration with trying to make phone calls is poor. Syncing my phone to the system was easy, but trying to get your phone book in there is difficult, and I've put it in there and it doesn't stay, so I pretty much don't use my phone for making phone calls through the system. As far as the voice control, I've had trouble with that. I tried it a little bit. I've given up. It's, wasting time trying to figure it out for me, so I just revert to using my phone, which is fine. The overall quality of sound in the system, I think, could be a lot better as far as music and whatnot. It's not bad, but it definitely could be a lot better. And maybe on the next level up, it's better. This is a medium level. There's a level below this one and a level above it. I don't know, maybe it's the same on the level above it. I really don't know. But the overall sound quality of the audio system could be better. The driver's seat could use a lumbar. That would be nice. Doesn't have one. The seat's comfortable. It would just be nice to have a lumbar there to use sometimes. The overall, the car's very comfortable. And then the other thing that I don't like is the ride quality of the car. I know it's based on the Nissan Versa. I don't know how the ride quality of that car is. I've never been in one or driven one. Maybe it's because the batteries are located centrally in this car. I'm not sure, but it has a tendency to buck and kind of teeter-totter back and forth as you're driving over bumps. It's really noticeable on the highway. It's not horrible, but it definitely could improve on the ride quality of the car. The things that I really like are how quiet the car is. They did an excellent job on the overall ride sound quality of the car. Cabin noise, it's just non-existent. Highway speeds, it's so quiet, it's amazing. I realize that the car doesn't have an engine to produce noise, but as far as just the road noise is non-existent. They did an excellent job whenever they made this car. The overall fit and finish is great. I like the use of the materials they use. The dash is a little plasticky, but the center stack here is nice, and then also where the shifter is, that material that they use, I like that. It shows fingerprints a lot, but that can just be wiped off. It's not a big deal. I like it. It's kind of futuristic looking along with the shifter. So I like not putting gas in. That's another great benefit. And we've actually benefited from our other vehicle that is still a gas car. We use it less, so we're spending less gas on that because we're driving this more. We use this for 95% of what we need to, unless it's a long journey, and unfortunately in St. Louis they don't have very many charging stations yet, or areas. There are a few at some public locations in St. Louis, but definitely no real quick charging ports. There's none here, so that's something you need to consider if you're thinking about buying the car, because that's an option that costs money. So you need to check your area and see. This car, I was already equipped with it, so it wasn't like I wanted it or had to have it. They just happened to have it. So, but in this area of the country where I'm at, in the Midwest in St. Louis, there are no quick charging ports. They're just the traditional 240 volt. So, which is fine if you're going to be somewhere for a couple hours, you can benefit from using that. But there again, in this area, there's not very many places that have that. So I've not charged it anywhere else other than my home. So I don't know. That's something to definitely consider depending on where you live at. Other than that, like I said, not putting gas in is great, and saving a bunch of money every day with it.